All right. I'm going live to the internet. This is the start of a great experiment. This is the start of an ugly experiment. This is the start of something uh, as absurd as it is exciting, which is just the way that I would have wanted it in my life. So, the idea here is to just put one foot in front of the other and get started on something that I've been thinking about for some time, which is essentially starting a channel that is a place for me to put my interests, is a place for me to uh, dive into topics that relate to American culture that are, I guess, of interest to me is the bottom line. And I'd like to give a little taste of what that's going to be. Because I found myself increasingly spending time on YouTube, um, exploring kind of different aspects of American culture that are unfolding, whether it relates to like music and movies that I was really interested in growing up, or something like First Amendment auditors that I didn't even know existed until a few years ago. Cultural phenomenons like To Catch a Predator or something like that. Um, there's kind of a wide range of interests that I found myself continually diving deep into, and what I'd most like is to have like a place, a container where I can um, hold these interests and I can consistently upload and maybe sometimes go live. But I think more of these will be composed and prepared videos that are essentially um, deep dives into these parts of culture that I find fascinating, that I find disgusting, that I find reprehensible, that I find riveting. There's going to be no filter on this channel either. I want to be able to dive deep into maybe the darker parts of culture, not exclusively, but I do think things like crime, to true crime, media, like exploitation as it relates to Hollywood and whatnot. There's a lot of meat on those bones that I'd really like to explore. So the idea here is really to just do it. I spent a lot of time thinking about this. I've done a lot of soul searching about kind of where I fit, where my talents are, where my interests are, what might be interesting to people, and this is a step in answering that question. And it's a step in terms of being accountable by putting out my interest, putting out my desire, and saying, this is something that I'm really excited about. And this is something that I'm going to hold myself to a high standard with. But the first step is really getting started. The first step is really putting something out there and not necessarily waiting for perfection, but deciding to just consistently execute and learn and grow. And along the way, hope that I can get to somewhere that really is riveting, that really does capture the many facets of my interests and my personality. And I will be, always actively aware of what's resonating and what's hitting. And I think that if I can stay true to myself, if I can stay true to my interests, if I can really explain what I find riveting and what I find compelling, that there is some audience out there, I believe, that will also that will resonate with that will share that feeling. So, like I was saying, this is my first step. It's a humble first step, but it's also a real one, and I'm excited to keep you guys posted and also get some higher quality stuff out there that really evidences what I'm talking about. Thanks.